Hello and welcome back to the Southeast Asia Taekwondo Championship 2. Oh my gosh, it's so loud outside. I really hope that that's not picking up on my mic, because that would be very sad. It totally is. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep going anyway, because we are Seed 24 versus Seed 25, and it's gonna be so exciting! It's gonna be so much fun. I'm your commentator for the day, Zachman III. I'm also the referee, so you get keyboard clacks anyway, so it's gonna be loud anyway. Okay, I think we better now. We're gonna see what we can do. Put your live on stream. It's not gonna be that bad. This one's gonna be fun. It's gonna be close. We got a 92 from Sleepti. It's 4 for Inkcovenze. Alright. Wow. Alright. Alright, we're gonna have a double time 2 ban from Inkcovenze. I'm gonna butcher that name. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try not to, but I am definitely going to at least once. Inconvenient. Alright, it's the Double Time 2 ban, which is understandable because Double Time 2 caters to speed players and nobody else. We're gonna see a No Mod 2 ban! Oh, that's so sad. That's actually tragic. This is terrible. This is the end of the match right here. Oh, I was so hyped for No Mod 2. No Mod 2 is a great pick. But it is tech, so if you're not comfortable with tech, then there's not much you can do. Oh my gosh, my keyboard is so loud. I promise I'm going to try and limit my background noise, but this is like not great time for me. So this is what you're gonna get. It's Hidden One. All right, this is our first pick. Yeah. All right, Hidden One. This is the No Mod 1 that could have been for the for the winner's bracket. I have thoughts on this pool, and my thoughts are not all negative for the first time in a while. But I do think that what they did was interesting. This is definitely for the hidden players. Like, this was designed specifically for this target audience. Let me make sure I've done everything right. I have not. Alright, we're gonna get into Hidden 1. We've got yellow in the chat. This is gonna be fun. Alright, we're gonna see some initial accuracy drops. It looks like Sleepti's gonna take it accuracy-wise, but they are gonna be the first person to find a few misses versus Inkcovenze is gonna be able to hold combo, but with a not-so-stellar accuracy. So, the score difference was going to shrink until Inkcovenze found a couple of misses, and now the accuracy difference is just going to widen. Once you both have misses on the board, it is hard to claim it just based on combo. Luckily, this is a relatively short map of the pool, so you don't have to suffer with our slow hidden for too long. Inkcovenze is going to find another miss right before the 2/3 point. I think we all know how this map is going to go, but this was Sleepti's first pick, so as long as we can brush this off and get into our next map and feel confident about our next map, all is well. We are maintaining some decent combos here, though. Inkcovenze is gonna find a miss as I say that, because that's how commentating works. But Sleepti's gonna almost hit our combo cap, and just barely hits it before finding that miss. I love commentating matches. This is so much fun. But it is going to be by a considerable margin here. Yeah, 172,000 points. It is pretty rough. I will say, they both held on pretty well. Under 20 misses on this map is not too bad. But yes, this is a map that specifically caters to the hidden audience. And not much else. Oh, the pick was sitting right there and I didn't even see it. It's Hard Rock 1, everybody. You get the best refereeing skills here. This is gonna be... As I try to commentate and referee at the same time, this is gonna be so much fun. Hard Rock 1 is brutal! This is not a map that I would definitely... I would be hard pressed to pick this one. Like, if you can, with the section in the middle where snapping just like does not exist because the song is that way. So we're gonna see how accuracies go with this. It's quite fast for Hard Rock 1, in my personal opinion, but that doesn't necessarily detract from it as pick as much as like that midsection where your accuracy, you may even find a couple misses because of just how hard it is to fully comprehend what's happening in that section. Alright, coming out of our intro section, we're gonna have some strong accuracies, a 98 on the right, a miss, and a struggling to find 94 on the left. As we're about to head into the dark zone. Sleepti is going to find a miss in the middle here. We're almost through the woods. And we are back to consistency. Inkcovenze is going to escape with a good 97 accuracy. Sleepti is just not going to be comfortable enough coming up to find that 92. But at this point, there's not much difficulty left in this map. Most of it's already gone, so I think very similar to our previous pick, this is going to be quite the landslide coming to the end here. Sleepti is going to find a miss coming into our final ki, but it's not going to make much of a difference at this point. It's just going to keep that score gap growing. Inkcovenze is having a strong 98, but the moment I try and say that, they are going to find a miss. Their accuracy is going to suffer a little bit, but there's nothing at this point that's going to flip the match over. Inkcovenze is super confident here. So, some strong first picks here out of the gate. We've got a hidden one out of the way, a hard rock one out of the way. Both of the remaining mod picks are still on the table, so we could still see a hidden 2, we could still see a hard rock 2. Oh, perfect timing. Wow, look at that referee go. Man, they just are the best. We're going to be picking it to hidden 2. Oh, trying to match laser timings is stupid. It's not worth doing. Wow, we're already ready. Okay. Alright, Hidden 2 is not for the faint of heart. This is where we're going to see our first inklings of a possible hidden hard rock pick. The SV is quite fast for most of the map, but there are SVs in it that keep it a fun, variable hidden map. It's 5 stars, which is... yeah, it's 5.5 stars, which is a lot for a typical hidden pick. Hidden picks are notoriously underweighted in our starting system, so if this one is peaking where some of our no-mod maps exist, it's got some difficulty on it. So Inkcovenze was coming out of the gate pretty strong, finding a couple misses. Is now going to flip it back over to Sleepti's side. Which makes a lot of sense. Inkcovenze is clearly confident in those faster SV maps, as we just saw on Hard Rock 1, but... Ooh, we're going to trade some misses, so not much is going to happen. Again, accuracy is going to be our tell-all here, and a 98, a mid-98 to a high 97. Gonna both miss that fast section there. Accuracies are going to tell the full story here, because combo is not really in anyone's favor at the moment. But we are going to enter a bit of a slower section here. Inkcovenze really struggling to find where that beat is and keep up with this slow section. So here's where our score gap is really going to start to widen. Where I see a similar story as we did to Hidden 1. We are going to get one more fast section out of this map. It's going to be very No Mod 4-esque, and where it's going to go fast and slow, I believe, for this ending. I've only watched this pool through once. Both players struggling on this kind of SV speed-up section, if you will. But Inkcovenze now below a 92, trying to bring that back up against Sleepti's confident 98. There's just not a lot that can be done. Another map that is just not for the faint of heart. And as we close out the map, the score gap is quite wide. I don't think there's much that can be done. Sleepti is going to find a miss, which is going to bring it down just a little, but there's just not quite enough map left to take this back. With some longer, streamier patterns. And that is going to be the map. Both players definitely confident with the higher base skill level that's required for this star rating of map, if you will, but the Hidden is just going to make that final blow. But it is going to be back to Inkcovenze's pick, so we might see an immediate retaliatory Hard Rock 2, which would not be surprising in the slightest. Oh, slightly late on this one. But that is exactly what we're going to see. Our players know exactly where their skill sets are. Hiddens and Hard Rocks are going to be off the board in pretty much no time. Hard Rock 2 is... In comparison to Hard Rock 1, this is quite a reasonable pick. It is quite fast SV-wise, but that's kind of what you expect from a Hard Rock 2 slot. So I think this is definitely a very comfortable pick for this slot. It feels right for this pool, it feels right for these players. So this is going to be quite interesting. I expect this to be the closest map we've seen so far. So, remains to be seen. This is where the challenge is really going to start to set in for these players. Sleepti's going to be the first to find a miss, but is holding their own on accuracy. We are still both seeing it at 99, so this is going to be combo difference for once. As expected, both players are finding relative ease with this map. It's not too difficult, so it's really up to that accuracy battle. The 99 to 98 is what's separating them. A little bit of combos still left in there, but most of it's going to be coming from the accuracy. But as I say that, Sleepti is going to find a miss, so that combo gap is going to widen, except Inkcovenze is going to... They're both going to trade it back for this fun 1/3 section. So with Inkcovenze coming out of this with a 99% accuracy, that is going to be what's taking them the lead here. There is still a quarter of the map left, but based on what we've seen, there's not much else that's going to be able to trip these players up. Sleepti is going to find a miss in the final stretch, and that is just going to seal the deal here. Inkcovenze is going to take their own second pick pretty confidently. It is the closest we've been so far. Both players are really close to each other skill level-wise, so when there aren't some, like, strong picks to take for specific skill sets, they become a lot more dicey. But we are going to see a turnaround double time 1 pick, which is going to be interesting. This is probably a fairly safe pick, seeing as Inkcovenze is the one that banned double time 2. But I wouldn't necessarily count him out. From my notes, this is essentially what the stamina pick is for this pool, and it is speed, it is 225 BPM, so that is definitely playing a part in that, but it's really just fast stamina for how long this map is for a DT map. 2.5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but it weighs on you a lot more than you'd realize, especially when it comes to these doublets and these slightly more on the tech side of patterns. It's a superb double time 1 pick, so let's see what these players will think of them. Sleepti is going to come out of the gate with the slight accuracy advantage, but I think most of this map is going to be seen in the stamina of these players as they continue through the map. We're already halfway through. Both players are staying strong. Both still have FCs. Our accuracy difference, as always, is making up all that difference. A mid 98 to a mid 97 is apparently worth about 20,000 points here. All it takes is one mistake, and it could lean either direction at this point. They're going to get a slight break to see that they are still pretty close to each other. All they have to do is stay the course, and they should be fine. Sleepti's going to drop a little bit of accuracy. It's going to lean back towards Inkcovenze's side. This is our final Ki. It's going to come down to these final moments to see who is going to take this map. And with a few accuracy drops from both sides, it's going to be super close. But Sleepti is going to take it by the narrowest of margins. Only about 5,000 points is crazy. And that just shows how close these two players are seed-wise. As they've already picked their stronger skill sets, that's going to leave the rest of these maps to be quite questionable in who's going to take them. So now it's going to be our first really tough map between these two players. This is No Mod 4. This is quite a simple map. I consider it very finisher spam. So for these players, it's going to be quite the toss-up. I mean, if Double Time 1 was already that close, this is just a pure accuracy battle to the bitter end. Alright, both of our players have been standing strong in their picks so far. There have been no breakpoints as of yet. This is the first chance to see who really has the best accuracy and who can hit all of those dang finishers, even the uncomfortable ones. Alright, after both initial accuracy drops, finishers are so important here. In fact, they're arguably more important than accuracy at this point. You have to try and hit as many finishers as you can, because finishers are worth so much in Score v2. Sleepti's gonna have the slightest edge lead, but it's not confident enough for our later sections of the map. We've got a slightly slower section. All these players have to do is just maintain their accuracies and hit all their finishers. Our score lead's gonna be tightening up. The accuracies are tightening up. It's hard to know how we're doing finisher-wise just because there's no easy indicator on the screen for that. But it's gonna be into the final section. Finishers are gonna make all the difference here, so you have to hit as many as you can. But Sleepti's gonna find a miss! Oh, that's gonna be big! Inkcovenze is gonna run away with the score lead now. And there's just not a lot of map left to recover from that that kind of a break. That would have been super close if it weren't for that one unfortunate miss near the very end. I mean, accuracies would have been tied otherwise, and it really would have come down to finishers. It's hard to say if it would have actually been able to make it to a draw, just because finishers are weighted so funky in Score v2, but we could have gotten very close. I want to see a Nomad 3 selection. A pretty confident pick from someone that can pretty confidently take Double Time 1. This is more difficult than Double Time 1. It's probably more difficult than Double Time 2, which is kind of funny. Only because of how long these maps are. We are 3-3. The stakes could not be higher. This seems very favored towards Sleepti just because of the extremely fast speed of 257 BPM. But that does not necessarily count anybody out yet. The tech is going to keep the accuracies in tow. Inkcovenze is only slightly behind accuracy-wise. We're only a quarter of the way through the map, but this could still be an interesting one. It's not quite as secure as I was expecting this map to be, I'll be honest. We're already 2/3 of the way through. They're going to get a break just to see how dang close they are. Only 2,000 points separate. They have to hold their own through this last section of the map. The score difference is trying to move. It could still go either direction. Inkcovenze is going to have a few accuracy drops. But that is the map. It's going to be so close yet again. It's 5/100s versus, I think, a few finishers. It's really hard to tell because the score screens here are not necessarily accurate. But this is wild. I thought that was going to be a lot more one-sided based on how Double Time 1 went, but... And there's not that many picks left on the table. This is actually going to get into some really dangerous territory. Nomad 1 is not good for either player, and all that's left is free mods. Oh, because this is the last pick. Because it's still best 9. Oh my gosh, wait! This is the last pick! Holy cow, this has been crazy. Both players have been able to pull their own, at least for their own picks. I think No Mod 1 is too dangerous, but the question is, which free mod are you more comfortable with? And it's gonna be free mod 2 is our pick. It's gonna be the tougher free mod. This is probably the better bet coming from the player that is more confident in Hard Rock. Hard Rock on this is pretty confident, especially based on the scores that you're able to set on the other Hard Rock maps. That's not to fully discount Hidden, though. Hidden is definitely possible, but it is more of a unique skill set that isn't quite tested by either Hidden 1 or Hidden 2. But, I mean, this is gutsy, but there's not much left in this pool that wouldn't be gutsy. Free Mod 1 is really hard, and No Mod 1 is a little too open. I mean, No Mod 1 is a toss-up. No Hidden Hard Rock. It's just, but it is forced mod, so Hidden or Hard Rock. I think Hidden Hard Rock would be too crazy for the higher players, especially in some of these earlier pools. I mean, there's not much left that could have been picked, so this is going to be dicey, but we'll see if we can get a tiebreaker out of this. I think we've already had a tiebreaker in this round. Yes, we did. We have had one real tiebreaker, but this would be super exciting because the seeds are super dang close. We are going to see our expected Hidden versus Hard Rock. This is questionably an anti-mod. I'd call it an anti-mod. I think it's close enough for what it's dealing with in this tournament, or in this round, sorry. So both players are picking the mods that they feel confident on. Both are going to be dropping some accuracies near the start, but there's no mod advantage at play, so this really is who is better at their own mod. Inkcovenze is going to come into a string of 100s there. That's going to bring the lead to Sleepti for the moment. Both players struggling a little bit on accuracy. Sleepti's doing slightly better with a mid 98 versus Inkcovenze is coming to close to a low 98. But all it is a few 100s away from flipping over as we go through this slower section. Sleepti's gonna find a miss. That's gonna be pretty big. Inkcovenze is gonna come into the higher accuracy. Will he be able to maintain it? Sleepti's gonna find another miss. Inkcovenze is gonna find some 100s. But I don't think it's enough to outweigh. We still have the final section of Funky SV. Funky SV that should have been in No Mod 4, but it's not time to talk about the pool at this point. This is so exciting. Inkcovenze is coming away with the score lead. Sleepti does have accuracy advantage, so Inkcovenze just has to hang on. The score lead is trying to diminish, but there isn't a lot of map left. Inkcovenze just has to hang on and not hit too many more 100s. And we are gonna see a tiebreaker. And absolutely, we've gotten, it feels like throughout this entire match, we've gotten closer and closer and closer. With score gap wise, I mean, we saw what 5.3 thousand was the closest, or was there one? There was one that was poised to be closer, but we started with like clear skill sets in the beginning. We've gotten to like real toss-ups in the middle between speed and close accuracy style maps, and now we're going to see a tiebreaker. Now, this is a difficult tiebreaker. This is not a tiebreaker that you really want to play in match. It's got long stretches of slow, very not dense sections, and then it ramps up the density into some longer, more terrifying patterns in a sense. So this is really dicey. If you can mod this, you will probably want to, but if you haven't practiced it, it's really hard to get that far. But with a C24 versus C25 match, there's no way these players haven't practiced Tiebreaker, so we're in for a real treat here. As a reminder, this is a conditional match in the loser's bracket, which means the loser of this map is going to be eliminated from the tournament, and the winner is going to just barely skate by into quarterfinals. So the stakes could not be higher. This match has been back and forth. They've been able to win all of their own picks. There have been no breakpoints all the way through this match. So this is really anyone's game still. These players are so close skill level wise. We're not going to see any mods. So both players are going to be at this no mod. There's going to be no mod advantage. This is going to be just the tightest accuracy focused gameplay that you've seen. 6 minutes of low density to high density and trading between them. Both players are going to find a small accuracy drop. I think we've already got a finisher at play, which is so much fun, leading to just the teeniest of score gaps. This is our first real dense section. Nothing these players haven't seen before. We did play Hidden 2. And we did play Free Mod 2, so this isn't anything out of the ordinary, but the stakes are so high. Sleepti is going to be the first player to find a miss. That's going to deal at least significant score difference, but their accuracies are still tied, so it's not going to run away in Inkcovenze's favor. But Inkcovenze is going to trade the miss back just a little bit later, so that score gap is going to decrease back, and it is going to flip because currently Sleepti does have accuracy advantage. It's going to take a bit. Super careful with these patterns in this slower section. Alright, we're halfway through the map. It is still razor-thin margins. I do think it's going to flip over to Sleepti at some point, but it's not going to be enough to be decisive in any way. But we do have this low-density section to try and keep accuracy on, because any accuracy drops are still fatal, as both players are still holding confident 99s. And now the slow build-up. Accuracies are going to drop a little bit, but your goal is to drop as little as possible. Both players are trading 100s as we get back to the speed we were at before. Inkcovenze is going to find a full-on miss. That's going to be catastrophic, no longer holding the combo or the accuracy advantage. Both players are going to be struggling here. Both players are going to find misses, which means that Sleepti is going to have the slightest combo advantage from before, holding just barely the accuracy advantage. The score difference can't go anywhere. Sleepti's going to find a miss, though, and so it's going to flip back to Inkcovenze's side. These are longer patterns. Both players are going to be struggling. You have to maintain accuracy. Sleepti dropping some 100s in some patterns. These are dense sections. All you have to do is maintain. Sleepti finding a couple more misses. Inkcovenze is running away with the accuracy and combo leads, but Inkcovenze is going to drop combo, still holding accuracy. There's only a little bit of the map left, but there's more than you think. It's still so close with only 8,000 difference at the moment. You just have to maintain focus. Sleepti's going to find some misses into this section. Inkcovenze is going to run away with the lead for a little bit here. They're going to find their own misses. It's all in accuracy. Both players struggling. This is still either player's game here. Inkcovenze is going to find a miss. That score difference is going to try to drop. Another miss. These are some longer patterns. The score difference is trying. But there isn't enough map left, and Inkcovenze is going to be the winner of the match by only 9,000 points! This is crazy! It's so close! Just barely bringing the accuracy and combo leads. Inkcovenze is going to take it by the narrowest of margins. Wow, I don't have anything else to say. That was crazy. Inkcovenze is going to be our winner of this match between 24 and 25, continuing my streak of commentating matches with 1 seed apart and the lower seed winning. This is crazy. Unfortunately, that does mean that that is going to be it for Sleepti. We are not going to be able to see them continue on putting up a great fight in this match, and it really could have gone either way. Inkcovenze is going to be playing, as I pull up my challenge. Ooh. Loser of 62. The loser between Vun and Lightning Wyvern next weekend. So, Inkcovenze escapes into quarterfinals just barely. Sleepti unfortunately doesn't get to. What a match! Super close. Both players doing an incredible job. Hopefully, they will now be forever friends, and we'll be able to walk away with something more than just winning or losing a match. But if you thought that was it, you would be wrong. We have more matches coming up. In fact, just 8 minutes from now, we're going to be seeing our next match between Josh Eco and Element 118. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to be here for it. So the question is, are you? It's only 7 minutes from now, so all you have to do is just sit back, maybe go grab another snack if you've already burned through your popcorn just from one match. And I will see you shortly. I've been Zachman III. This has been the Southeast Asia Taiko Championship 2, and now I have got to go figure out how to calm down from that crazy tiebreaker.